Hey everybody, it's Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside. It's raining on the high desert. I don't know if you can hear it if I'm quiet for a moment. I don't know if you can hear that, but uh, it's going to be stormy for the next few days here, which is fine. I don't have to water so much outside, which is cool. Always nice to use the rain for that. Although I have stuff in the greenhouses, so I'm going to have to go out there and take care of that. I have to tell you, though, my strawberries are looking magnificent. I pulled all the California poppy that's seeded in the beds. I pulled that most of that stuff out. I've got it around now. I love that, by the way. It's also medicinal, and it's mild enough for kids. So it's a sedative. Think poppy, you think poppies, but it's a really mild one. And so for nervous tension or something, in the evening. If you wanted to have some California poppy, and it's the whole plant, it's the leaves, the flowers, all of it that's medicinal. And so I just take and cut them back every so often, and they grow right back, and they get real bushy, and they're just so cool. The bees just love them, and so yeah, I mean. But anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune and the correspondences and astrological information for today are up over at Stepping Aside. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio to get there. Otherwise, it's at imsteppingaside.com. I think that this is just a really interesting time. And yesterday we had an 11 energy day in this 22 year. And I think that, we need to be paying attention to soul manifestation issues. We need to be paying attention to illumination and enlightenment. Things, in other words, messages that are telling us what's going on, and giving us some insight into the direction forward. I know for me yesterday, it involved I guess a neighbor a few blocks over showing up on our property. We have 5 acres. No trespassing signs at lock gates, but there's a freight gate right next to the vehicle gate. And the vehicle gate's locked and has the no trespassing sign on it. And then the other little one right next to it has freight signs on it, and there's a freight box, We have it's an 800-foot driveway, and it's narrow enough that when we put the fence up between us and the next door neighbor a couple years ago, it made it more difficult for UPS to come down and turn around. So we stuck a box up there, and it's locked and all that, and they put stuff in it and lock it up, and that's cool. But so it was workable, but at the same time, the point is now the next gate you come to is about 500 foot down the driveway, where we have the compound sectioned off from the rest of the property. And that's got an 8-foot game fence. Actually, there's between 7 and 8 foot fencing around our whole property now to keep the deer out, because they'll jump and they'll come in and eat my garden, which we can't have. But anyway, she came down, and she didn't come into the compound, but she did walk another 100 foot into the pasture, to the fence there where my husband was mowing the compound area out there by the garden. He was on the lawn tractor, and she came in, and she's trying to talk to him. We still really don't know what it is she wanted. If she was just sharing, I think she must be a beekeeper too or something. We don't know her. I don't know this woman. He doesn't know her. We've never met. We might have seen her on a walk. We might have waved or said hello, but we don't know this woman. I don't even know where she lives. But she mentioned a street that's about three streets away from us. So I'm thinking that's where she lives, but I don't know. And as soon as I got out there and I saw what was happening, it was like, oh my God, what are you? And she doesn't have a mask on, no gloves, nothing. I'm like, why are you on our property? So I'm telling her to get off. She won't. And, she won't. And then she starts to, and then she retreats, and then she starts. It's little baby steps. I think she's waiting for my husband to say, oh, no, you don't have to go. It's like, are you kidding? Are you stupid? Yes. So anyway, I don't know what's going on anymore. But the illumination for me yesterday was to understand that, we have to maybe be a little more vigilant. And maybe keep the gate for sure. I mean, because we're irrigating right now, so we don't have this lower gate locked because we're going through it all the time to change the water. Maybe we have to, maybe we have to keep it locked and go through another gate or something, that's going to be less, people aren't going to necessarily try to come through. So, because that could happen, we can do that. That's an option. So I think right now, with Saturn in retrograde also, went retrograde, is stationed yesterday. I think it's in full retrograde today. We're going to be restructuring things and thinking about what we're doing in our lives and how we're doing it. We're going to be restructuring perceptions and all of that. And so what I learned from yesterday is that people are not going to stay off my property. They're not going to observe the no trespassing signs, and I need to just simply pay closer attention. So does my husband. We wish to stay apart from people right now so that when we are with them, we're controlling that experience by wearing masks and gloves. We're of a certain age. I was extraordinarily ill for a long time. I wrote about it in my first book, Confessions of a Back Porch Herbalist, which I just actually did a second edition on and re-released it. This time not through Amazon, though. But you can find that on my website, links to it and stuff. But in any event, I talked about what that was like, and I healed. I achieved remission from severe rheumatoid arthritis with cannabis concentrates. And then, so between that and traditional herbal medicines that I formulate, because I'm an herbalist, I've been able to stay in remission since 2011. So, I'm doing well, but that doesn't mean that, my immune system could survive something like this. So we're going to do whatever we can. And so for us, we won't go out. We don't anyway. We hang around our property and we got lots to do. We go out to this grocery store, the feed store, sometimes out to through a drive-through or something. But beyond that, that's all we do. We started going to movies, in the daytime. We started doing that for something different. We used to always do that, but we don't anymore. So we started doing that. We won't anymore. So, so we're watching more Netflix. But at the same time, we're looking at, with Saturn in retrograde, we're looking at how are we going to restructure our lives going forward? Because things are going to change. And we have to embrace that fact and find a way through it. We can make that harder for one another by trespassing on people's properties at a time during a pandemic. We can do that. Or we can respect the fact that there's a pandemic and there's a no trespassing sign, respect the law, and don't go in. And potentially threaten the health of people. Her excuse was, well, I haven't been to town in 11 days. But on the 12th day, did you come into contact with someone asymptomatic? And are you now asymptomatic? Because you're shedding virus and you're contagious and you don't know you're sick. That's the issue. And I don't know why people don't understand this, why there are still people that don't get it. So I don't see this as a choice at this point. And so I hope that you don't either. I hope that you're doing everything possible to keep yourself safe and everybody around you safe, that you have that presence of mind to know that that's what needs to happen right now. Allow spirit to inform your choices, in other words, instead of letting ego driving the ship, because ego wants to do what ego wants to do. Ego doesn't care if you survive. Spirit, on the other hand, does. So in any event, I guess that's it. Check out the blog. Things go up there every day, pretty much. The esoteric influences are up for the week. They go from Sunday to Saturday, so check those out. You still got a few more days there to see what's going on there. So check that out as well. There's also some affiliate specials and promotions. I have that stickied up at the top of the blog there. Click on it so you can go to it. Otherwise, you can't see what they are. I'm an affiliate marketer, so if you click on any of them to go to any of it, and if you buy anything, then I'll earn a small commission off of the sale. And that just helps to defray blog costs. And trust me, that's all it's doing, if it's even doing that. So in any event, the whole ads on the blog's business, that's not what you think. It really isn't. So anyway, it mostly just clutters things up. So I've been real careful what I do there. And I don't want it to look like some places that are just, weird ads everywhere. So anyway. Have a good day, and we'll talk again soon. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.